We are providing only 20% video as a part of promotion. For remaining 80%, that is 6 to 8 articles, current affairs video and general studies complete videos, please subscribe to our complete package. 3. The government's Namomi Gange program seeks to tackle the problem at several levels at the same time. What does the rejuvenation plan of the Ganga includes? How the urban sewage flowing into River Ganga will be treated. How the rural sewage flowing into River Ganga will be treated. How the industrial effluents flowing into River Ganga will be treated. How the surface cleaning of River Ganga can be done. How the cremation along rivers and immersion of remains in the rivers be controlled. GS Paper 3, Conservation. What does the rejuvenation plan of the Ganga includes? Rejuvenation of the Ganga includes reviving continuous flow in stretches that have gone dry due to natural or man-made reasons, regenerating the river ecology, making the river an important inland waterway, reviving it as a habitat for dolphins and gharials, and spreading awareness about the need to keep the Ganga clean. How the urban sewage flowing into River Ganga will be treated. UP, Bihar, Jharkhand and West Bengal together generate over 7,300 million liters of sewage per day that flows directly or indirectly into the river. About half of this comes from Tier I and Tier II towns like Kanpur, Allahabad, and Varanasi. Currently, the 5 states together have the capacity to treat only about 3,300 million liters of sewage, or about 45% of the total. The rest flows into the river untreated. Thus the government has now decided to rope in corporates to create sewage treatment plants, STPs, in all the 118 urban centers along the river. Companies will have to create additional capacities, use existing capacities at optimum levels, and operate and maintain the facilities for a minimum 15 years to produce treated water at prescribed standards. They will receive some money from the government upfront for creating the infrastructure, but the rest of their investment, operation and maintenance costs, and a pre-decided profit would come in the form of annuities over the 15-year period. The government hopes that annuity-based payments and guaranteed returns would keep the firms interested. The companies will also be allowed to sell the treated water to generate additional revenues. How the rural sewage flowing into River Ganga will be treated. About 1,650 Grand Panchayats lie directly on the banks of the Ganga. The sewage they generate is almost entirely untreated. About half the population in these villages defecates in the open. The government plans to use biological means to deal with this waste. It wants to experiment with a model said to have been used in a Punjab village by a local spiritual leader, Baba Balba Singh Sechwal, who is credited with the successful cleaning of the Kali Bean River with public participation. Sechwal is supposed to have inculcated the practice of segregation of solid and liquid waste, treatment of wastewater through oxidation ponds, use of treated water for irrigation, and composting of solid waste. He is said to have infused a sense of community participation and ownership of the river. How the industrial effluents flowing into River Ganga will be treated. There are 764 grossly polluting industries on the banks of the Ganga, mostly in UP. These include tanneries, paper and pulp industries, sugar mills, dyeing factories, distilleries, and cement plants. Effluents from all these flow untreated into the river. Tanneries near Kanpur alone generate about 25 million liters of effluents daily. The industries have now been given a fresh ultimatum last year to set up common effluent treatment plants, SETPs, install new technologies, and ensure zero liquid discharge into the river. How the surface cleaning of River Ganga can be done. Solid waste, clothes, polythene, and all kinds of religious offerings are dumped into the river and float on its surface. It is the easiest to clean them and can result in a quick visual makeover for the river. Machines called trash skimmers have been ordered from abroad to clean the river surface near all major towns. One of these skimmers is already operating in Varanasi. If the machines arrive on time, work on cleaning the river surface is expected to begin by March. The government has also invited corporate groups to take up this task as part of their corporate social responsibility. How the cremation along rivers and immersion of remains in the rivers be controlled. One of the efforts in the Ganga Action Plan of 1985 was to build gas or electric crematoriums, especially in religious centers like Varanasi and Allahabad. Not much was achieved, however. The current program seeks to build at least 100 crematoriums by November this year. A standard design has been prepared and approved. Renovation and modernization of existing crematoriums too has been ordered. Work is underway at some places. Other components of the Clean Ganga program are the launch of a public awareness exercise, regeneration of aquatic biology, plantations, riverfront development. A comprehensive law on the Ganga is also in the offing. 4. Government approves new crop insurance plan for farmers. GS Paper 3. Issues related to direct and indirect farm subsidies. Why recently in news? Faced with 2 consecutive drought years, the centre on Wednesday cleared a crop insurance scheme Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana. PMFBY scheme was cleared at the cabinet meeting, headed by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. PMFBY will replace the existing 2 schemes, National Agricultural Insurance Scheme as well as modified NAIS, which have had some inherent drawbacks. Features of Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana. Under PMFBY scheme, farmers' premium has been kept at 1.5% for Rabi food grains and oilseeds crops, 2% for Kharif food grains and oilseeds crops, and up to 5% for horticulture, cotton crops. PMFBY will increase the insurance coverage to 50% of the total crop area of 194.40 million hectare from the existing level of about 25 to 27% crop area. The expenditure is expected to be around Rs 9,500 crore. In PMFBY, there will not be a cap on the premium and reduction of the sum insured. 25% of the likely claim will be settled directly on farmer's account, and there will be one insurance company for the entire state, as well as farm-level assessment of loss for localized risks and post-harvest loss. Private insurance companies, along with the Agriculture Insurance Company of India Limited, will implement the scheme. All claim liability will be on insurer and the government would give upfront premium subsidy. The new scheme is significant as the country is facing drought for the second straight year due to poor monsoon rains, and the government wants to enhance insurance coverage to more crop area to protect farmers from vagaries of monsoon.